You're listening to On Guard, where we chop it up with everyday people who do extraordinary things. If you're inspired by what you hear, all I ask that you give us a follow and share with a friend. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no worries, dude.
So kind of run us through your background, how you got to this place right now.
Yeah, so my early 20s, my late teens, I was just a blue collar guy. Honestly, I was a welder for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
I was good at that, and there's a promising career that comes out of welding.
Mm-hmm.
But at a certain point, I had to be honest with myself. I wasn't happy doing it. I got enough fucking burn scars. And I can curse here, right?
Yeah, I don't care.
All right, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got enough fucking burn scars, and I missed the blue collar atmosphere, but I knew that my potential wasn't going to be realized in that line of work. So eventually I quit, just sort of drifting for a while. Decided I needed to make a change, got into journalism, because I've always been good with language. And I pursued journalism for 3 years. And I never went to college. So everything I've ever achieved in my life has been through an alternative route.
Oh, okay.
And that's something listeners can probably learn a lot from, is that, like you and I were talking before the podcast, that the typical path that is prescribed to people today generally doesn't lead to success. So I never went the traditional path. I never went to college for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I got to the point of broadcast journalist. I was writing for TV personalities and stuff like that. I was on track to get on TV myself. I never went to college. I wound up producing a documentary for a major news channel. I booked celebrity interviews. I conducted those interviews myself, and I was I didn't know fucking anything about the industry. I was learning everything as I went, and turns out blind confidence is worth more than anything in this world, because that's pretty much what everybody is working with, because nobody knows what they're doing, dude. So that was my background, right? That was the first 8 years of my life, blue collar, and journalism. Did pretty well. At the end, journalism long term, I saw what my path was leading to wasn't super promising.
What did you see?
Probably gonna. What's that? Yeah, basically, people who were successful in journalism long term, like guys who were where I wanted to be financially, making six figures, guys who I wanted to be status wise. Journalism is cool because just the title opens a lot of doors for you. You're gonna meet famous people. You're gonna have cool fucking experiences. I'm a journalist. I represent this person or this publication. Powerful people are going to talk to you, and that's cool. But all those dudes in their 40s, 50s, 60s, they are chain smoking alcoholics. Yeah. And ultimately journalism's a very dirty industry. When was the last time you paid for news? Probably never, right?
Not really, I played for the New York Times for a couple months, but then even then it was, fleeting.
No, but they have a full-time staff.
Yeah.
So who's paying them? Someone.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever is paying them is telling them what to write about. So basically how it works in professional journalism is if you're going to work for a big publication, you got to write what they fucking tell you. You got to work their angle. And that's why journalists are either ideological fanatics or they're psychopaths. There's no in between.
Yeah.
They just have no morals, or they're true believers in the extremist viewpoint that whatever publication is trying to push. Anyway, long term, I realized I was going to be broke, miserable, or soulless.
Yeah.
And as glamorous as it was, and as fun as it was, and as the cool experiences I had, the documentaries, the travels, and shit like that, I worked so hard for it, and I came up fucking empty. And that's when one of the biggest realizations of my life was that pursuing a dream job is a fallacy. Don't ever pursue a dream job. Every job is going to have its demons. Pursue a dream lifestyle. That's what I realized. I figured out what I liked about that life. I liked the independence of it. I liked the travel. I liked the cool experiences. But you can achieve that in a multitude of ways. Your dream job, you're going to get tired of, and it's going to lose its magic. And it's actually one of the worst things you can do to yourself. If something you love doing with your life, it's going to really suck if you have to do it for money.
Yeah.
That's going to suck all the romance out of it real fast. pursue a dream lifestyle. And so that's basically how I wound up here.
'Cause I feel like if you have those guilty pleasures, like you're not guilty, but you have things like you're doing things that you go and look forward to, say after a work shift. If those things become what you're like working for, then the hobby itself kind of becomes its own boss. And I feel like that's when you kind of get into those things of just, what I mean? Like, it's not, like you said, it de-romanticizes it. Like, if I enjoy, creating, and then I have to create to, like, creation is my only way to make money, then it's more, I feel like those constraints, even in, like, especially for creative projects, but just in any project, like, having constraints feels like it adds an extra level of anxiety and stress that limits it, and then you kind of end up with a bad project, and then the cycle just kind of eats itself alive.
Yeah, I mean, and you get tired of doing it.
Yeah, quick.
Like I loved writing, but when you write for 10 hours a day under extreme stress, the last fucking thing you want to do is write after you get out of work. Are you insane? Like there's something to be learned there, though. Like, one thing I did learn is, like, wow, I actually do perform my best work when I have a ton of stress and a time constraint. Like, maybe not my best. Like, I'm not going to produce my magnum opus, but I'm going to get shit done. And it's going to be good. Like, never let the perfect be the enemy of the good, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're trying to get things done creatively, work like a blue collar guy. Work like someone who has a time constraint and has pressure on his back. Like, get it done. Just fucking sit at your desk and get it done. You have to. You feel like it, like, especially in a fucking newsroom, bro. Like, when they're telling you, hey, your whole job is to get 6 articles out by 5 p.m. And if you don't, we don't have a story today.
Yeah.
You're fired. Like, get it done by 5 p.m. or we have nothing. And the perfect being the enemy of the good was a big lesson we had to learn in the newsroom. It was like, I don't have something done, even if it's not great. If we run this, if the story is important enough that we're going to run it the next hour, it was an hour by hour fucking process, right? Like, when you watch live news, the news is updated hour by hour. Like, if you write a story for this hour, if it's not important, it's going to run for 1 hour. Therefore, if it's shit, it doesn't really matter. If it's important enough to run all day, fine. If you have 15 minutes of downtime, go back over it and update and refine it. But even then, it's like 15 minutes. Like, you have other shit to do. Like, get it done. Get it done. Get it out. That applies to fucking everything in life, dude. Anything you're doing yourself, anything creative in business, like, get it done. Get it done. Get it out. You know what I mean? If it's important, you can fix it later. You can make it better later, but get it fucking done now and get it working for you.
Because I feel like if you overcomplicate, I think that's a very good, like, strategy to deploy, because if you have, there are so many moving parts to business and so many layers that you can kind of get stuck on, layer 1 or 2, and you never get to reach. Because I feel like there is a beauty in the initial stages of a business, like the hustle and the grind and having to, like, work for 8 hours straight and really fucking push yourself. But you get to this level where you're kind of like, you start to be, when you get to the refining level in business, that's when I think it's the most fun, because you can, incorporate your own strategies, and there's not as much pressure to rush through it, and you can kind of meticulously go and, like, dissect it. Like, when I work on automations, I have to kind of think through, like, 4 different people's brains, and that takes a bit, but once you do it, it's like you feel like a mastermind controlling shit, and that's when it's like, oh, like, that's what I fucking do.
That's the fun bit. Like, in the beginning, there's only stress. Like, get it done. But once you have, like, a working concept, once you know, okay, like, the foundations are good, I can polish this. That's fun. That's where your artistry and creativity gets to come out. But you need a fucking story before you can make it a story that's fun to read, kind of thing. That's, I think, why most businesses fail. Most people try to be perfectionists in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't. Get it done. Like,
like, we talked yesterday on, you said you talked to a lot of finance people, and they are very, like, open about how simple their actual job is, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like people think, using, we'll say, like, a very common example, like Amazon, right? At its very core thing, it's just a shop. It's a shop, and you just order things from the shop, and they have, systems in place with AI and robots to make that shop very efficient, but it is just a store. And I feel like people try to start at the level of Amazon initially, And you cannot do that. You know what I mean? They have infrastructure and, investors and things supporting them. So trying to be that level of perfect when you're starting out, as like a mom and pop shop, like you can't compete. And I feel like that's when you use your small status as like an advantage. You're like, oh, we're more personable than Amazon, because that's a very thing. That's an angle you can take. And Amazon can be like, oh, we're more efficient. And like those two sides of the same coin can play benefits. But people try to be like, from mom and pop shop, like, oh, we're perfect, but obviously you're not, because you're a mom and pop shop.
Yeah, play your strengths, dude. When you're small, you can be way more personable. And the only thing that like, Amazon can beat you at everything.
Everything.
The one thing they can't replace is you.
Yeah.
If you've got some personality tied into your brand, if they know you by name, if you know them by name, they can't fucking beat that. And that's how all the finance guys I know make all their fucking money. Like these guys are making $1 million a year, $1 million a month. One guy I met, $1 million a month. That's insane. And learning their skill set, if you had it like mapped out it would take you 3 months to get all the certifications and shit. Like in 3 months you could have all the skills they have to do what they do. They're magic. They're the successful guys and the not successful guys. The successful guys are very personable. The unsuccessful guys are typical finance, what you expect if some dude tried to sell you life insurance, or whatever. Now these guys are going to invite you out for a beer. They're gonna have an hour-long conversation about your life before they talk to you about anything. Their network is very strong. They're surrounded by, you know what I mean? Yeah, these are small-scale guys that are making small-scale work for them.
Yeah.
If you want to be, you don't have to be fucking Amazon.
Yeah.
All right. If you want to buy a spacecraft and go for a ride around the moon, then yeah, you got to be Amazon one day, I guess. But if you want to be successful, you can forever make small scale person to person leverage work for you.
I feel like people fear being average so much that they end up being less than. Like you'll have people who are, extremely worried about failing and then, slipping below. But I feel like, people think the route to success is like start and then like finish. But it's just it's a mess. It's an awful, horrible mess. And then even the people who are at the top levels still there's things they don't know and there's problems they have to fix. There's never you can be certain about some things, but I think the feeling of knowing everything about a certain topic that people look for is impossible, because everything is always innovating in itself. Like if you try to learn anything about one subject, like say you studied something for like 10 years, in that 10 years it would grow and be a completely different beast than when you started. So that's why you can never be perfect, but you can be like you said, good enough to continue with the current trends. And I think the winners and the losers, you'll see people like the loser will stick to the fundamentals forever and kind of ignore any change, and the winning people can understand that it's going to change, and if you don't change with it, you're done. You know what I mean? Like you have to advance. And I feel like, do you think you learned, like you said, it was an hour rotating story. So do you think you kind of learned how to adapt quickly to things, and that you can kind of take that skill into business?
Jesus Christ. That's that's my whole life.
Yeah.
Losers copy and fail to innovate forever. If you just do exactly what you're told forever, like you're not going to get anywhere fast, dude. Like having a scatterbrain, like drawing from a lot of different sources of inspiration is going to benefit you.
Oh yeah.
You're going to force a unique brand, basically. Like let your business, let your brand, let whatever the fuck you're trying to do, whatever it is, a lot of that has to come from you. Make sure you're interesting, and whatever it is you're doing is going to be interesting to other people. If you're unique, the stuff you're doing is going to be unique, and people are going to recognize that. Like the big thing my most valuable skill is the ability to network, right? Like I get people to like me, I get people to think that I have potential, value, whatever. And that's how I have cut the line whenever I want to do something in life. And I've hopped around a tremendous amount. Like I was a welder, I was a blue collar guy, I was a skilled tradesman. Then I was a broadcast journalist. Then I was a war correspondent, and I like.
Let's dive into that. You know what I mean? Like I know we're talking about networking. I feel like war is a big network. So what was it like being a war course? Like, kind of give us the rundown. Like, how would you transition from journalist to war correspondent, and what exactly? Like, give us the definition and everything.
like what war correspondent. I mean, being a war correspondent is basically just being a journalist in a war zone. That's a very unique thing, and typically those guys are specialists. They have like military training or something. I didn't have shit.
Yeah.
I had the ability to say yes. Why not? If I die, I die. It's not your fault. Like how that came to be was just I was pursuing journalism, and I helped produce a documentary for a major publication with no experience. It was an accident, honestly, but like starting from the beginning, I decided, okay, I like journalism, I like writing, I like the news, I like politics, I like all that shit. I'm not going to college. That's something I never did, never wanted to do, never will do.
Yeah.
How do I become a journalist without a college degree? Okay, I'm going to seek a internship. And already I'm too old, right? I'm like 23.
Yeah.
Like everyone's out of college by now. Okay, I'm 23. I'm changing careers because fuck welding. I'm going to be a journalist. Okay, I found a fucking internship. I worked for like 6 months for like no money. And we had a big intern team. Everyone's trying to be a journalist. Journalism is a very competitive industry. Everyone wants to be a fucking journalist, and that's why journalists don't make money. But in the meantime, I didn't care about the money. I just wanted a job that was cool and I didn't hate. I just provided more value than anyone else did. When I was given a task, I just fucking did it, and I did it better than anyone. And maybe that was because I was older. I don't know. But I impressed the boss, and we became personal friends. And then during COVID-19, they wanted to do a documentary. They needed an American team. They couldn't send their foreign team over here because of the flight restrictions. He had to pull an American team out of his ass. He tried to recruit out of the interns, and we had like a career journalist, 20 years in the industry, who was supposed to be the head of the team. He drops out due to a divorce or something. And then one by one, everyone loses interest and drops out. And I was like the only one left. And the project was about to fall apart after hundreds. Like I don't know how much money was spent so far. We had journalism teams in like 4 different countries working full time to produce this fucking documentary. But without the American story, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Because America is important when it comes to an international story. It's like if the American team doesn't get their fucking story done, this whole thing falls apart. And so like my boss, like the guy running the internship was on the phone with this like super famous guy. I won't say his name. Yeah. He's like, get this done and I'll owe you a favor. You understand?
Yeah.
Any way you can get this done, get it done. I will do something for you. And that's a big promise from this person.
Yeah, of course.
And so my boss was like, all right, bro, you're going to come to my house every day. Fucking office. You're going to come to my house every day. My wife's going to cook your breakfast and we're going to work 8 hours a day. I don't care if you stare at your computer screen and do nothing. You're not going to leave your desk. Because I know you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Because I didn't. Yeah. I was supposed to be coffee boy. And the first month was rough, but in the second month, I started to get into my flow, and I wound up getting a celebrity interview with Robert Kennedy Jr., and we went to his fucking house in fucking Los Angeles, and at that point, I felt like a pro. I went from coffee boy to head producer of XYZ publication in 1 month of working full-time at it. Yeah. And that's when that's the same way I learned welding, basically. Like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I got mentored for a little bit. The main welder got fired. I had to take on his job. I was thrown to the wolves, and it was sink or swim kind of deal. Yeah. Same with this project. And that's when I learned that's how you cut the line. Fuck college. Fuck all of these conventional ways that people tell you to achieve what you want to do. It probably isn't going to work. You want to know the real reason to do the thing you want to do is to do it full time with a gun to your head for 60 days. And if you have a mentor behind you to make sure that you're not fucking up, in 60 days, you can achieve what you would achieve in 3 years otherwise.
You have to get the mentor to hold the gun. Does that make sense? Like, I've done research because like when I was considering getting a mentor, right, I was like, what is the actual value? Like, what am I, buying into? And it's like people with a mentor are 4 times likely to be more successful and actually get it done, right? They work 4 times faster. So having, someone who is breathing down your neck, like it's the external pressure of a boss without having a boss. And I feel like, while the conventional school system isn't set up for success and it never has been, there is some, you know, there's something to be said about having someone looking over you, because I feel like a lot of people are extrinsically motivated, if you're in the gym by yourself, or if you're in the gym and you see someone smaller than you and you like being competitive and showing off to them, I feel like you're going to maybe get an extra set out, right? So
Yeah.
if you can get that a little bit of like, I guess it's person to person, like some people can really just cultivate it for themselves. But, I feel like every, like I said, go back to feeling average or whatever, like people don't like to feel average. So when they can prove to themselves and other people that they're not, that is where I think you get the biggest like push. And then if you have the extra push of someone like, hey, you have to fucking do this. And then I'm instead of, bossing around, I'm going to teach you how to do it. Then it's just like, you're set up and you don't need the traditional, sit in a fucking classroom for an hour a day, not pay attention, and then, stress out about homework.
And any self-motivated person can find that.
Oh, yeah.
You can find a way to put your own gun to your fucking head. Like I started up a fucking semi-successful videography business. Before I was a journalist, I was like, I just like media production.
Yeah.
I was broke.
Yeah.
I needed money. I had this $3,000 camera. I knew it could make money for me. Being broke was the gun to my head. I figured out a way to make money with it, and I did. Same with fucking anything, dude. Yeah, if you're following a fucking conventional path towards something that you really want it, you owe it to yourself to do it way sooner than everyone else. Because when they're still laying the foundation, it takes 3 years for them to do it. Fuck that. You have 2 more years of productivity that you could have in your pocket.
Yeah.
Put the gun to your fucking head. Swallow the stress. Work for 12 hours a day. Be scared. Be stressed. Stop being a pussy. Get it done. Do it. You do it once with anything, and once you do it once, you realize I can do this with fucking anything I want to.
Yeah. And it
60
works.
days of full-time work, being scared and stressed. You're going to find a goddamn way in your gut to make it happen.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go from 0 to pro in 60 days at anything.
Because you're spending, how many hours is that? Say you do work for we'll give you a realistic 10. That's like 600 hours. Like, it's really, really hard to be bad at something if you have 600 hours under your belt. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, really difficult. Like, with anything. Like it's not even business.
The 10,000 hour rule for being an expert. Sure, if you want to master something, 10,000 hours. But if you want to be pretty good at something,
give it I'd say honestly 100. If you want to be like 100.
Yeah, if you want to be passable, 100 hours is good enough.
Yeah.
If you want to be like a pro, like proficient, you can charge money for this. You know what you're talking about. You know way more than the average person, because who the fuck else invested 600 hours into it?
Yeah.
No one. Yeah, 600 hours, dude. Like 2 months of full-time work. You can pretty much be whatever you want.
And I hate the excuse of I don't have the time for it. Like, it's like, oh, well, you have more free time than I do. No, I don't. It's just I know how to allocate, and I know how to just, there's so much bullshit in the world that's meant to distract you, that's meant to keep you in systems that do not want you to succeed. Yeah. It's every fucking app has a TikTok feature. There's scrolling on every single app. It's not, your phone is not designed to help you. It is a great tool, but it's not designed to help you. You know what I mean? So I think just everyone is trying, attention is probably the biggest currency of the world right now. You know what I mean? People want attention so badly. They'll do the most idiotic things online for, views, and money comes with it, but it's still some ridiculous things I could never fathom myself doing. So it's if you can find a way to literally just sidestep that and then just lock in for a little bit, and it's not like you have to give it up for forever, but if you take those 2 months you would have been sitting on TikTok or whatever, and then just there's just so much.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's not hard to learn that.
Dude, take 2 months off. Be the thing you want to be.
Yeah.
Get like fuck college. 2 years, you're good at the thing. I mean, 2 months, you're good at the thing you want to be good at.
Yeah, but if you take 2 years, think about it. You have,
Oh, dude, yeah,
God, you'd be that.
two,
You'd be the master.
yeah, 2 years different story. 2 years full time commitment. The rest of your life is established,
Yeah,
and people beat around the bush,
they just fuck
and
around.
they're living half a life. It's not that people don't have time; they lack motive. Like I get it. I get it if you only kind of care about something. You want to get in shape. Okay, you're not a fanatic about getting in shape. I totally get. You don't want to spend 2 months working out like full time or whatever. Fair enough, dude. But there's something you care that much about. There's some key to your problems. There's some solution to like the thing standing in the way of you living the life you want to live that you're making excuses about not doing.
And I think people, they use the excuse that it's like oversaturated, or that, if there's something you like doing, there is a way. Okay, like if you're doing something, there's normally someone making money from it, right? Because it's a thing you can do. So if you can just become that person from consumer to creator of whatever it is, you can do the thing you like or am passionate about and have the prior knowledge, because if you don't have to start, like you can start from square one and like say, take the 2 months, but if you already have been a fan or a consumer of the thing before, you kind of cut out a lot of the beginning steps because you have an understanding of the space. So, you can kind of give yourself a jump start, still know what you're talking about, and then, build and become a creator. And then it's just like, nothing is like, there's so many fucking people in the world. Nothing is truly, 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 truly oversaturated. There can be a lot of people trying to do it, but you also have to remember, like, they're also just starting out. So if you can try harder than them and compete more with them, then it's like, even with SMMA, like, there's now like it's starting to become very like a very known business model for beginners, right? But you still see people in groups like, I have not signed my first client after 6 months. How? Like genuinely, like I did it for 2 weeks and got my first client.
If you were working full time for a month, there's no reason you don't have your first client.
Yeah,
Are you insane? If you're making 100 cold calls a day for a week,
it's just like
there's
odds
no reason.
at that point. It's literally just like
yeah, like you could be
numbers.
terrible at this.
Like horrible.
That's it. Like never let the oversaturation thing. Like oversaturation. What the fuck are you talking about? Music. Let's take music. Music is something we all understand.
Yeah.
Everyone listens to music. Okay. Are there not breakout artists every fucking day?
It seems like.
Like talk about a competitive industry. Hard to stand out. There's always something new to offer. But bet your ass those guys are working in a way that the others aren't. Like there's so many like wannabe Spotify rappers or whatever. Like they're not busting their ass.
No, not at all. Like, they're just doing. I feel like if you can find a way to break the formula but also use it, like you'll see people like, actually I was watching a video on like Ice Spice actually, and like because I was wondering like what makes her, because female artists are very typically scrutinized because they do use, they'll just rap about the same things guys do but from the different perspectives. So guys be like,
yeah. My boyfriend broke up with me, whatever.
Yeah, or like shake their ass or something, and guys are like, well, that's like that's just, all she is ass. But you have to think about guys, it's the same, like especially in rap lyrics, it's like I fucked her hard, and then the girl's just like I fucked hard. So it's the same thing, it's the same lyrics. So it's like, and she basically, what she did, like she technically did have a new style. She had a very like soft spoken thing over like normally like scream drill beats. So then like
yeah, the super powerful pop thing.
Yeah, like she technically was an innovator. She had her own style, and then even if you don't like her music, say you think her music's dog shit, I'm not the biggest fan. That means if you think you can do better, go do better, innovate, do like if you think you can be better than Ice Spice, just fucking be better than Ice. Like it's not, people think like, oh, I'll never be able to do that. They're regular people. Everyone like she's probably not some like Ivy League scholar, like. Just find people. Like I think there's so much merit to, like we talked about this yesterday, like finding your tribe. So if you can get a tribe of people that are willing to support you, and then you can support them in turn, that's an unstoppable force. Like just people growing and innovating together. Then it's fuck the 2 months. You can get something insane done in one. Because it's just 5 times the speed.
If you have the support.
Yeah.
Building that tribe is a hard thing to do. But like with music and how it ties into business and shit, like Ice Spice, did she innovate a lot? Did she invent a new genre?
No, she just kind of tweaked it. Kind of.
You don't have to. You don't fucking have to. You don't have to. Do something slightly different. Do something no one else can or will. One tiny little tweak to it, and you're gonna go way fucking farther because everyone else is trying to do what everyone else is doing. They don't have imagination, or they're not interesting people. Therefore, they have nothing new to provide. There's no such thing as oversaturation. Like, it's just there's a saturation of the offer, basically. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to sell vanilla ice cream and a million people are trying to sell vanilla ice cream, and then you say, oh, ice cream is oversaturated, and then you invent chocolate.
Yeah.
You didn't invent a new fucking dessert, just a different flavor.
Exactly.
Just do that. Whatever the thing you're trying to do is.
Like anything.
Like, for me, like, when I, like, my journalism career, how did I get to be a broadcast journalist with no fucking college degree and, frankly, very little experience? I just did shit no one else would do. I worked for free way longer. I worked harder way longer. When I was in Eastern Europe, I volunteered for shit that other Westerners wouldn't fucking do. Like, I went to Ukraine. I almost got blown up.
Yeah.
I was chilling with fucking refugees and soldiers and shit. Like I was living in a shit hotel with no running water. Like, that puts you on people's radar. Because all the other Americans and shit, they fucking fled. They were cowards. They ran away. And I wanted it bad. I'm going to do the thing no one else is going to do. I want to go. Like, hey, we want an American to be there. What do you think? And I was like, fuck it. That was basically it. I was like, screw it. I was terrified. It was the most terrifying experience of my life. I kept telling my Russian friends and stuff, like, I was swallowing fear like a shot of vodka. It would keep creeping up. Like, I'm about to die. Like, I'm stupid. What am I doing? Why am I agreeing to this? This is insane. When I'm over there, I'm going to have no life flying. It was the most reckless thing I've ever done with my life. It paid off. Because I wanted something bad enough. I did something no one else was willing to do.
So what's like one story from Ukraine that you would like be willing to share? Because I know probably some of it's a little bit difficult to talk about as it is, you know, being in high stress situations.
Politics and shit. I don't know.
Tweak some shit, but
stories. I would say the most rewarding part of that experience was hanging out with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
There's this town called Volnovakha where I basically went there in 2 installments. I went twice technically. The first time I went, this town was freshly destroyed. Everyone was starving. It was winter. They were cold. They were scared. They were sad looking. It was awful. Mm-hmm. And these kids just looked like something out of a fucking National Geographic commercial.
Yeah.
And the second time, and actually one of the kids, his face was so iconic. There was tons of art was made about his face. And then the second time I went there was more summertime. And oh shit, that kid whose face became famous. Like, he was like a micro celebrity, and like I became really good friends with him. We could really not speak each other's language. Like, my language is not that good yet. Of course, they don't fucking speak English.
Yeah.
The most rewarding experience was hanging out with them for about a week. Like, we just visit them every day, drop off food, drop off medicine, record shit, interview. And I would just like play with the kids in my downtime because I couldn't talk with the adults.
Yeah.
But kids, you don't need to talk to them to play with them. They were like, I would piggyback rides, play tag, whatever.
Yeah.
That was most rewarding just because like you're literally in hell. And there's just this like beacon of like innocence. And like, I don't know, I saw the best and worst of humanity there. And that was part of the best. Like, in hell, people take care of each other, and kids are still kids. That was nice. Then there was a time I almost got blown the fuck up when I was getting my press creds at City Center. It was like 11 a.m., like middle of the fucking day, and they were dropping artillery. And one of the shells landed like 6 blocks away, and then the second one landed like 3 blocks away. And we're like, oh shit, it's coming toward us. Car alarm started going off. None of us have been shelled before yet. We are like, everybody is like, it's like from like, it was like from Independence Day, like, you know, like everyone's like sprinting. Like, there was a kid doing like TikTok dances in front of a smartphone like fucking 2 minutes ago, And now everyone's sprinting wide-eyed, like with animalistic fear, like into the nearest building, because like the rounds they dropped were anti infantry rounds, and they were just intended to like shred bodies. Like
Jesus.
every shell had like 1,000 of these like little needle things that had these fins on them, like darts, that were intended to like either warp or strip away, so that way when they entered your body, they would travel sporadically and scramble your organs. Anyway, the whole point is like if any of these land on the street, we're all dead. Like, it doesn't matter where you are unless you're behind brick. And we're in our fucking car. And then like my translator, who was in the military, who was like he started yelling shit in Russian, and I didn't understand any of it except for like bliska, which means like close, nearby.
Yeah.
And he was just like pull out and priyama. Priyama means like straight ahead. Like I just basically through context, he was like saying like pull out, drive straight ahead. That shit's close. And for like I thought like the traffic was gonna kill us before the fucking bombs were, because like, you know, everyone's panicking. There's no one's observing traffic signals, and like my driver's panicking, and he's about to run through an intersection where people are driving it's like 60 miles an hour. He held his shit together enough that he didn't do that. And then like the weird fucking thing was like 2 minutes later, we're like 10 blocks away. No one's panicking anymore. People, like women are walking their dogs and shit. Because it happens so much. And then we're just like, oh, well, where do we go next? And literally the place we were going was fucking Mariupol, which is this fucking city that was like, there's a battle over it for like 2 months. And at this point, Mariupol, because the battle was over, that was a safer place to be than the city we were in. And then like when we like took a break on the way there, and we got out of the car and we're smoking, obviously, just and a translator starts fucking laughing at me. I'm like, what's so funny? He's like, nah, just happy birthday. And happy birthday is something Russians say when you have a near death experience.
Yeah.
It's your second birthday. He goes,
Jeez.
happy birthday. And I start fucking laughing too. So yeah, dude, like I don't know, between those two things, like the journalism aspect of it, like who gives a fuck? Those are the most meaningful experiences in between those two things. It's like no matter how, I guess, the lessons learned are like, I always, you know, like everyone wants to be edgy. I'm not afraid to die, blah, 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 blah. When I literally felt like I was about to die, that was the one moment in my life I knew for certain I wasn't ready to die.
Yeah.
I was horrified. I was terrified. I was just frozen, you know. And I remember thinking in my head, like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And also seeing the beauty that comes out of an environment where everyone feels that every day. Even when life is shit, there's a lot of good to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And even when life is shit, something inside of you wants to keep experiencing it.
Yeah.
And when you see people feeling that they have nothing, but they want to keep living for the sake of everything, people who have no motivation to do something with their life, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like if you had the perspective of like, you know, even those experiences have probably given you just constant, like, at least it's not that, you know what I mean? Like that's one thing I like to do. Like say I'm having a particular shit day. It's like, is this really a shit day, or, you know, have my environment been kind of slightly inconvenient? You know, like there's so much that, like, I feel like until you get to a, like, say for instance, like, you know, I've never had a, you know, bomb with, you know, razor darts near me, right? So in a large scale context, you know, some shit happening to me, yes, it may have been bad for me, but at the same time, like, was it really that bad? Like, I've never had an experience where I've been like, oh, I'm probably gonna die. Like, no, like, you know what I mean? So like, if you can just kind of take that perspective out and then like observe it from that third point of view, like really, like I like to like look back on things as they're happening. Like, you know, I'd be like, in 3 months, I'm not gonna fucking care about this, right? So then, why would I care about it then? So I feel like people who have no motivation, because like, oh, I'm so sad. Like, don't you think you would feel better if you just started something? You know what I mean? And acted like you were about to fucking die. And like, if you look back on your life, would you be satisfied remotely? Like, no, probably not. So that's when you have to kind of just
Yeah,
fucking like just
you are about to fucking die.
every day.
It's like the older you get, dude, like the faster life moves. Like
Oh, it's quick.
5 years goes by like nothing. You're about to die. What are you doing? like, like you can die satisfied and not be afraid of death because like you did it. You're content. You did all the shit you wanted to do, or not. Don't be the guy weeping.
Yeah.
Too many of those. Don't be that fucking guy. You have all the fucking potential in the world not to be that guy. Don't be that fucking guy. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to everyone. You owe it to everyone you can help. Don't be that fucking guy. We're all suffering here.
Yeah.
Right? Life sucks. But it can be awesome.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think there's beauty in like sucking, like because
Yeah, it makes it worth it, bro.
yeah, exactly.
Please continue. Like,
If you're like like say you feel lonely or you feel like shit is just like, oh, the world's fucked. Everyone has bad morals and there's no good people anymore. It's like, then just be a fucking good person. Like, if you are like, it's so fucking corny, but like, be the change you want to see. Fucking do that. Like, if you think there's a problem and then you can become passionate about that problem, go and work to fix that problem and make it suck, like less suckier for someone else. You know what I mean? Then that's you can like create beauty, and then it's just infinitely fulfilling. And instead of just like wallowing in like, oh, I'm so fucking bummed out right now, just take that energy of instead of because I feel like it takes energy to get to a level of like, because your body's always constantly burning calories and energy, right? So you could burn 1,500 calories laying down or 1,500 calories doing work. It's the same level of energy and effort, right? Technically, it's all mental. There's just so many fucking mental blocks people put up for themselves because they think like, oh, I'm just not that type of person. You can be any type of person you want to be. You know what I mean? I just think that's such a bullshit excuse, really.
yeah, it's not a lack of time. It's a lack of motivation.
Or
If there's a gun to
discipline.
your head, you're going to do fucking something. And the biggest gun to your head is death itself. There is a gun to your head, idiot.
Yeah.
You're gonna die. What are you doing with your life? Your life, if you're not satisfied, it could be awesome. That's the thing. Like, you're not satisfied with your life. It could be fucking awesome. It couldn't just be like better. It could be fucking fantastic.
Mhm.
You don't even need money to do it. There's so many I get it. Like we were talking about the other day. Like, okay, like America is so fucked right now that if you're making less than 100K a year, you're not going to live a life that is materialistically as high quality as your grandparents.
Mhm.
Like, it's pretty much impossible. If you're part of the other 90% of the population, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And even if you strive to be part of that top 10%, like the problem's not fixed. There's still dudes left in the water. It's like if you have 1,000 people drowning and there's one lifeboat, like, all right, you fight your way onto the lifeboat.
Yeah.
That doesn't fix the problem. There's so much you can do to be happy with life without the money. And that was a big takeaway for me too. When I saw beauty in hell, I want the money. I want the freedom. But it's not even for me at this point. It's just there's stuff I want to do with it.
Yeah.
And I want to set as many other people free as possible. But even if you fucking can't, dude, like money's not going to fix everything. If your psychology is off, if your physical health is off, if your relationships are bad, if you don't know what you want to do with your life, if you're so damaged you can't attract a healthy partner, whatever the fuck it is, dude, straighten yourself out. Even if you're not capable or motivated enough to make money, dude, that's not that important. You still have one life to live, dude. There's a lot more you can do to make the most of it.
Well, I feel like you don't even need, like, people always, I feel like they go for money first. They think like, oh, like, once I have money, I can solve all the other problems that I have. But it's very hard to make money when you have all those other problems, like you said. Like, if you can't build relationships with people, it's gonna be hard to make money. Like very, very hard. A lot of making money is just knowing people. That's like the more I come to realize. Like if you have, say, a client that is very interested in giving you referrals, but you didn't build a good relationship with them, they're gonna be like, I don't think he'll take this very well. You know what I mean? Like you need to be. There's so much more to making money than just like selling something or being a good bullshitter. Like you just like
Yeah.
so
Y'all
much
want to
to
be
it.
fucking what's his name? The Wolf of Wall Street. Fucking Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be a sociopath and make some money. That sucks. Like no, like most, like all the same skill sets for it, like inherent in making money are the skill sets that are inherent in living a decent life.
Like a 10 in hand.
Like, can you make people like you? Are you? Do you inspire confidence? Do people like it when you're around? Do they look at you and have positive emotions or negative ones? like, like if you're a solid guy that people like being around and you have something to give them, you're gonna make money. It's inevitable. It's the same with life quality.
Because I feel like just the problem is that people think that you can kind of buy that, and I feel like it's like it's funny, like the skills that are monetary are like taught not through monetary means. I feel like they're taught to like experiences and maybe even losing some money. Like you have to take so many fucking L's before you even consider like a victory. Knowing how much I've just like completely flunked or messed up or just really ridiculous, like royally screwed it up, but like those experiences have taught me in the future exactly what not to do. And if you know exactly what not to do, it's really easy to know what to do. So like it's just like it's this shit, if you just fucking boil shit down to its like basic, right? Like that's literally just the opposite of what I like. Just it doesn't take some like Albert Einstein level of like genius to figure shit out. Just fail a bunch of times. Like, you can be the dumbest motherfucker in the world, but if you fail enough, you'll know exactly what not to do, and you can figure out what to do. Like, even you don't have to even like then you don't have to think of your own solution. You just like trial and error is like people underestimate. Like I've failed so much in order to figure out exactly like what I need to like do to not fail.
Yeah, and who does that?
What do you mean?
No one.
No one. Yeah, people are so scared to fail, so just fucking they'll just be like, "Well, I'm just gonna take my time and figure it out." You're not gonna fucking figure it out unless you're
Like,
doing it right
no,
now.
motherfucker, you're failing right now.
Yeah.
At least fail actively. Fail forward.
Oh, I feel, dude. I've been failing forward for the last like 20 years straight.
Yeah, dude, I'm a loser.
Yeah. Oh,
I've
I feel
always
like
been a loser. Like that's how I identify it. Like I've always just been a fucking loser,
you have. I feel
Uh,
like you have to be a loser.
and I've always had something to prove.
If you talk to people who are doing the same thing as you, there's a weird amount of similarities. Like you're like entrepreneurs are kind of slightly autistic, like in some weird way. They're very antisocial. Like it does take a certain like anyone can
Stay
be an
there. I'm
entrepreneur.
listening.
Yeah, anyone can be an entrepreneur, right? But it's so difficult to be an entrepreneur if you don't have certain qualities because you'll be kind of drawn to other things that like regular people do. What's this shit say? God, if it would focus. Oh.
If it would focus. There we go.
It's so sick. It's but it's like, you have to like I don't know, just people okay, so say like you have me like I would take myself versus someone who was very, very social and like non awkward and we'll say like even high school, right? I was like I never went out, I never like drank or smoked or anything, and I just kinda like sat in my room and played games, right? I was very like I was a little hermit. That's all I did. But then you have someone who was very popular, social, like had a good high school experience, like whatever, and that's good for that person. They'll probably be a very like sociable, personal person for their entire life, but they'll never have the skill, which you don't think you're learning a skill when you're playing video games, but you learn how to just sit and fucking do nothing very well.
Yeah.
And like you can just and instead of playing a game, you just literally just take the game you're playing and make it work, and like you have a business. Like it's just like it's just so it is the same amount of fulfillment too. Like business is I think of business as it like literally it's just a game. Like you're literally just like playing a game, you're building it like something, and it's just like it's if you can just like do whatever you need to fucking do to make what you're doing enjoyable in some way, and you can do it for forever. Like just make a new hobby out of it, make like gamify it for yourself, set yourself goal. Like it's just it
Yeah.
takes time to build up and grind, but once you grind enough, it's just like, oh, you're like your end game.
When doing hard shit until you're good at it is fun for you, there's literally nothing that's going to fucking stand in your way. Do it once. Do it once. Pick something that's attractive. Like making cold calls every day or setting up a business or whatever. It's not. It doesn't sound fun to people. It's boring as shit.
It's the worst. Cold calls are the
Pick
worst
something
thing.
that's attractive to you. Like for me, one of my like lifting weights was a big thing for me, and then after that, it was learning guitar. Like when I was during COVID, I got pretty fucking good at guitar. According to my friends who were like career guitarists, they said like, "Oh, you're at like a level. You're like a year 2 guitar level, and you got there in 2 months." Again, just cut in line. How did I cut in line? The same way I cut in line with everything else. I just played guitar for 2 months.
Yeah.
Like it was lockdown. I had nothing else to do. I played guitar for 4 to 6 hours a day for 2 months. And in 2 months, I just cut the fucking line.
Yeah, because people are just, they're so, like, people underestimate just consistency and, like, practice.
Yeah, like I'm not a fucking musical prodigy.
Yeah, just do it.
You know, I just did it over and over until my fingers hurt. Then I kept doing it. Didn't matter. And once you realize you can do that with one thing, you realize, well, I can just apply the same principle to anything.
Anything.
Just do it. It's work more than anything. It's work and consistency. The secret ingredient to fucking getting good at shit is just work and consistency. Pick your thing. You want to learn a language? Shit. Like, I've been learning Russian for, like, almost 2 years now. I'm still fucking bad at it.
But you're 2 years ahead of, like, fucking anyone else who's not doing it.
Yeah, and I literally I was at the bar like a few days ago, and we have a Ukrainian Russian population here in New Jersey, and like I ran into some Ukrainians, and most Ukrainians also speak Russian because the languages are very similar. Yeah, I spoke it so well. They were like, "There's no fucking way. There's no way. You've only been learning it for a year or whatever." And I was like, "No, I just lived in Russia for a year. Like I had no choice because no one spoke fucking English."
Yeah.
It's the same. Like just you can brute force anything you want to do.
Oh God, anything. Like it's I just like one thing I want people to take away from this fucking episode is like if you want to do something and you want it bad enough, just go fucking do it. Stop. It doesn't. No one fucking like we talked about like last week. No one fucking cares about you. You know what I mean? Like. You know, you have family who like cares about you, but like generally, people's life is so complicated that it's very, very hard to care about someone else as much as you care about yourself. So if you just realize that like no one cares about you and whatever the fuck you're gonna do, you're gonna go do it. Just go fucking do it. Like stop. Like you know, you can do whatever. Like I think of life as just like a fucking like the perfect game. Because like when I was growing up, I always wanted a game where you could just go do whatever you wanted. And I was like, oh shit, like that's real life. And then once you just have that mentality of just like. Because people don't care. They don't remember shit. Like, everyone forgets things in, like, a week nowadays. So you need to just go do something. If you fail fucking horrendously, just go and grind on your own. And then, like, like I said, just fail over and over again until you have something just, like, beautiful.
Yeah. Dude, maximum, it's going to take you 3 months before it works. Before something gives way. Like, a common quality of everyone who's successful, just knock your fucking head against it.
Hard.
It's not even that hard, just consistently.
Yeah.
Hard if you're really gung-ho about it, I guess, but you don't even have to go that far, dude. Like for me, it's never taken more than 30 days of trying full-time at something to see some progress. Mm-hmm. And then once you get a little progress, it's like, oh, I can do it. And then it's addicting, and then you just take off and you do it. You do the thing. I don't know. I wish I had more to say about it.
But
like,
it's
whatever
not that
the thing you fucking want to do, if you did it for 8 hours a day for 30 days, you were going to be really fucking bad at it for 30 days. I won't say 1 month. 1 month is false. 2 months. I'll say 2 months. Because in my experience, typically the first 30 days are rough as hell. 2 months, you're going to start to see some like productive results. And then 3 months, you're like, I'm a pro. Like,
I feel like
full-time commitment. If you can do that, and think about how much time you're saving. If you do something part-time for 3 years, you might see nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, find a way to do it full-time for 3 months if you really give a shit. And you can do that with a job.
Oh, yeah. Dude, like I've been in college doing this shit. Like, just, it's not a crime. You know, you can have other hobbies. Just drop them for like the 2 months. Like, they're still going to be your hobbies. Like, just drop them for the 2 months.
Temporary sacrifices, man.
It's not even like you don't have to fucking like climb Mount Everest. You just have to like stop watching a show for a bit and then just catch up later. Like it, it's got like this shit is so fucking basic. Like, and I feel like that is where a lot of people get stuck because we're always looking for the next cool thing to do. But if you just settle on one cool thing for like, like we said this entire time, 2 months, then like it's just,
That's it. That's just the learning curve, dude. Like, you have the skill set now. You can figure out how to take it easy a little bit. You already know the shit. Like, most of that time is spent learning. Once you know the shit, it becomes way easier. Like 3 months of learning guitar is hard because everything's new. But like once you pretty much know how to play guitar, you can learn a song in a day, where it used to take 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Fucking anything. Like 3 months to get the skill set down, and then your life normalizes again.
So how do you think? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Keep going.
No, I was just like, how much time are you saving? It sounds really daunting.
Yeah.
To like go full bore for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
But how much fucking time are you saving?
Oh.
And if I told you anything you want to be good at, you can be good at in 3 months. You'd be pretty fucking interested in listening to what I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, the secret is just do it for 3 months, full time, at least 4 hours a day, 4 hours part time.
Yeah,
but like make that your fucking thing.
Oh yeah, just
3 months, knock it out, and then it's yours. It's yours forever. Yeah. Nothing can take that from you. You can lose all your money, and that skill set is yours forever, whatever the fuck it is. Like,
and only that skill set can make you money. And kind of like as like a closing statement to this episode, like for anyone out there who thinks that like, say you work at a fucking like McDonald's right now, you know what I mean? Like McDonald's doesn't have a very like frivolous career path. There's kind of a ceiling, like manager or whatever. If you can just take, I have a friend who's working, like 70 hours a week and multiple different, minimum wage jobs. But like, I've talking with him in his like free time where we're building him like a personal training business, right? And just like, he understands that with the dedication he puts into his, like shit work now, if once he'll be able to transfer that into his, like actual business and passion, like it's just done. So like, even if the only skill you're learning is how to work hard, just work hard at anything, even if it has no return in the future. Just fucking just like it's just like the power of hard work is so undervalued now because I feel like everyone wants a shortcut. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But the shortcut is the hard work. Like you said, like to skip the line, just you have to work harder. Like it's
yeah.
Is it?
You could do 3 years worth of work in fucking 3 months, bro. If you just really do it.
Yeah.
Because like there's also like an exponential. I don't even know how to describe it, dude. The value of the work you put in, if you're full time, is higher quality than the part-time work you're putting in for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Therefore, you're going to get 3 years worth out of fucking 3 months.
Yeah.
It's not just the hours; it's the quality of the work as well. If you're living in something and you're fully devoted to it, like magic happens, dude. Magic is you're going to surprise yourself. You're going to do stuff that you didn't think you could. And if you prove it to yourself once, you can repeat it indefinitely because you have the confidence already.
And it feels like magic too. Like I've never been a very like super spiritual person, but like when you're doing something that you feel like you've always been meant to do, like it clicks, like you see that initial progress, like, oh my fucking God, like I can do this. And then that confidence, you start to see opportunities and you view the world differently than you ever have.
Yeah.
And it's just such like a, it's
You're
like
not afraid of anything anymore,
it's a
dude.
fucking euphoria. Exactly.
Like, there's something I got to do. I can do it.
Bam.
Give me 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's been fantastic having you on. Really, like it.
Yeah, bro.
Truly, thank you for sharing your stories and like giving us your viewpoints, your opinions. It's been really, really, really great.
Yeah, dude. Likewise. Thanks for having me on, dude. Always good to talk to you, man.